for you, and I'd like to recognize my families here with me tonight, Matthew, Sarah, Rebecca, and my extended family from World Team Sports. Thank you.
Come on, boys. Thanks, Lon. Incredible stories. I don't see George in a wheelchair either. I see George flying past me at 45 miles an hour on his bike when I'm doing 4. You know, working with Lon and his team has been extremely rewarding for me personally, but there are 2 men in particular, and I'm not looking over towards my wife because of this. Let's see if I make it through this. These guys are both so-called disabled veterans. They actually inspired the formation of a group of IGHL veterans to get together to do something in return for other vets. These guys behind me are all military veterans that have served this country and IGHL with great distinction and dedication, and I do want to thank them for their military service. Thank you, guys. You want to grab Larry's? One of those awards. The other one. This group was formed with the goal of recognizing the accomplishments of other veterans who give back to their communities and inspire others to achieve what may seem impossible despite all odds. This year, we would like to recognize 2 very special veterans who have overcome their challenges to touch the lives of children and adults who are intellectually disabled. The first recipient of the IGHL Outstanding Veterans Award joined the United States Air Force way back in 1985. He served as a crew chief on the C-130 Hercules and traveled extensively throughout Europe, Africa, and Central America. In September of 1994, he was told that he was going blind. There was nothing anybody could do because there was not a cure for the disease that he had. He is completely blind. He was married and had 2 small boys at the time, and their family faced a future filled with uncertainty and doubt. But the one thing that was certain was that he made the choice to be strong, a strong role model for his 2 sons. The path in life he chose was one that brought him to all 3 Olympic training facilities. He has kayaked the Yellowstone River through Class 3 rapids. He has skied the slopes of Vail, and he has summited the highest peak in the Catskills during an adventure team challenge, of which I got to follow him and look at his butt the entire way. He was also part of a 17-person team who biked coast to coast in 2012, and most recently joined us in completing the 110-mile Face of America ride. He is currently preparing to bike ride from Ottawa to Washington, D.C. with Canadian and American veterans, and is also training to compete in his very first Ironman triathlon. It is my pleasure to introduce a truly remarkable man, my friend, Larry Gunther. I promised these guys I wouldn't force them to speak. This next one's a tough one for me. On March 17, 2008, while we were all enjoying our annual St. Patrick's Day celebrations, a young fellow Army Ranger who was serving with my old unit, the 10th Mountain Division, was traveling through the streets of Baghdad when a rooftop bomber launched a shape-charged explosive device that shattered the Humvee he was riding in. He lost both legs above the knee and part of his right hand and spent over a year at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, healing from his wounds and undergoing 35 surgeries to repair the physical damage to his body. Through all the pain and suffering, his spirit never wavered, and his enjoyment of life is stronger now than it ever was. He has inspired countless people with and without disabilities by participating in events like the Adventure Team Challenge and the Face of America bike ride. Currently, he is training with Larry to ride with the other veterans from Ottawa to Washington and will be accompanying IGHL during our very first Coastal Team Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a true American hero, Chris Levy. I cannot tell you how much these two gentlemen have accomplished in their lifetimes and have inspired so many people to do great things. And it's just an honor to be sitting in the same room with you two guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry, you want to come down?